history of the ortolan bunting, Emberiza hortolana, as a delicacy is one of the most fascinating, controversial, and morally loaded stories in culinary history. It weaves together ancient traditions, aristocratic indulgence, ritualized eating, and modern ethical bans. Here's the full long history. The ortolan. Background. The ortolan bunting is a small migratory songbird native to Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa. Weight, about 20 to 30 grams, less than an ounce. Its journey: breeds in Europe in summer, migrates to Africa in winter. Size and fattening cycle made it perfect for culinary use. Antiquity, before the Middle Ages. Roman Empire, 1st to 4th centuries CE. Romans were famous for their love of exotic foods, like flamingo tongues, dormice, peacock. While exact sources are limited, some Roman writings, Apicius, describe small songbirds being roasted whole. There's debate whether ortolans specifically were eaten by Romans, but given their geographic range, it is likely. Middle Ages to Renaissance, 5th to 16th centuries. Small birds, including thrushes, larks, and buntings, were widely eaten across Europe. Ortolans were prized in France and Italy as game birds for nobles and clergy. The practice of fattening, keeping the bird in darkness so it overeats, may date back to this time. Eating birds whole, bones and all, was seen as a display of wealth and toughness. Rise in French haute cuisine, 17th to 19th centuries. By the 1600s, ortolans were firmly entrenched in French aristocratic cuisine. Preparation involved: 1. Capturing migrating ortolans in nets in southwestern France, especially Gascony. 2. Fattening them in dark cages on millet, figs, or oats. They would gorge themselves. 3. Drowning them in armagnac or cognac, both to kill and marinate them. 4. Roasting them whole for a few minutes. The ritual of eating: the bird was eaten whole, bones and all, except the beak. The eater draped a napkin over their head. Explanations vary: to trap the aromas, to hide the act from God for the indulgence in sin, to conceal the grotesque spectacle. French aristocracy made the ortolan a symbol of luxury and decadence, often served at banquets for kings, cardinals, and high officials. 20th century, ortolans become legend. French tradition: by the early 20th century, ortolans were deeply tied to Gascon culinary identity. Writers like Alexandre Dumas and Brillat-Savarin wrote about ortolans with awe, calling them the pinnacle of gastronomic pleasure. Ortolan feasts were reserved for gourmets, intellectuals, and power brokers. Post-World War II, the dish became rarer, even more associated with secret society. Like indulgence, hunting and serving ortolans was seen as both gastronomy and ritual transgression. Conservation and bans. Late 20th century. Decline of populations. Overhunting and habitat loss dramatically reduced ortolan numbers. By the 1970s-80s, populations had fallen by more than 50%. Legal protections. 1979, the European Union's Birds Directive made it illegal to hunt ortolans. 1999, France banned hunting ortolans officially, though enforcement was lax. Despite bans, poaching continued, especially in Gascony, where thousands of ortolans were trapped each year. The ortolan as a forbidden pleasure, 21st century. Even after the ban, the ortolan retained its allure as a forbidden food. French presidents and elite figures were rumored to have eaten it in secret. François Mitterrand's last meal, 1995. The dying French president reportedly had an ortolan feast as part of his final meal, making it an enduring symbol of excess and farewell. Cultural references. The ritual has appeared in literature, documentaries, and even in HBO's Billions, where the napkin ritual was depicted. Conservation success. By the 2010s, French authorities began stricter crackdowns on poaching. 2016, France reinforced hunting bans under EU pressure. By 2020s, ortolans remained protected, and eating them was punishable with heavy fines. Modern legacy. The ortolan is now illegal to eat in the EU, a symbol of culinary decadence and moral excess, a case study in the tension between tradition and conservation. Some chefs, e.g. Alain Ducasse, have lamented its loss but acknowledged the necessity. The ritual of eating the ortolan has become a cultural myth as much as a gastronomic reality. Summary timeline: Roman era, 1st to 4th C. Likely eaten, small birds in luxury banquets. Middle Ages, 5th to 15th C. Ortolans appear in noble diets, fattening traditions begin. 17th to 19th C. Ritualized in French haute cuisine, symbol of aristocratic indulgence. 20th C, gains mythical status in France, described as ultimate gourmet dish. 1979 to 1999, hunting banned in EU, France, poaching continues. 1995, Mitterrand's legendary last meal includes ortolan. 2000s today, illegal symbolic of forbidden decadence. Population still fragile. So the ortolan story is not just culinary, it's about luxury, sin, secrecy, politics, conservation, and cultural memory. Would you like me to also describe what eating an ortolan was said to taste/feel like, according to historical accounts from gourmets and writers?